Okay, welcome everyone. It's Tuesday, March 22nd. This is the Natural Resource and Environmental Commission meeting for the City of South Pasadena. I'll first read our statement of civility. As your appointed governing board, we will treat each other, members of the public, and city employees with patience, civility, and courtesy as a model of the same behavior we wish to reflect in South Pasadena for the conduct of all city business and community participation. The decisions made tonight will be for the benefit of the South Pasadena community and not for personal gain. Now I'll read the notice on public participation and accessibility. Pursuant to Government Code Section 54953, Subdivision E3, the meeting of the Natural Resources and Environmental Commission for March 22nd, 2022 will be conducted remotely and held by video conference. Members of the public have the option to participate via Zoom using the following link, and the link is provided below in the agenda found on the city website. Go to the Zoom website and enter the Zoom meeting information accordingly, or you can click on the following unique Zoom meeting link in the agenda, or you may listen to the meeting by calling 1-669-900-6833 and enter the Zoom meeting ID and passcode, which when prompted to do so. And that is also located in the agenda. For additional Zoom assistance with telephone audio, you may find your local number at the link provided in the agenda. Public comments and suggestions. The NREC welcomes public input. If you would like to comment on any agenda item, members of the public may participate by means of one of the following options. Option 1, participants will be able to raise their hand using the Zoom icon during the meeting, and they will have their microphone unmuted during the comment portion of the agenda to speak for up to 3 minutes. Or option 2, you can email your public comments to nrecpubliccomment@southpasadenaca.gov. Public comments received in writing will not be read aloud at the meeting, but will be part of the meeting record. Written public comments will be uploaded online for public viewing under additional documents. There is no word limit on emailed public comments. Please make sure to indicate your name, which is optional, what agenda item you are submitting public comment on, or if it is a general public comment, and 3, your comment. Public comments must be received by 12 p.m. March 22nd to ensure adequate time to compile and post. Okay, I've already called the meeting to order, so could we get a roll call?
Commissioner Bortz is not present. Commissioner Hammond?
Present.
Commissioner Law?
Here.
Commissioner Kelly?
Here.
Commissioner Siegel? It has an excused absence. And Chair Jones?
Here.
And Council Liaison Mayor Cacciati is not present. Staff, we have Ted Gerber, Public Works Director.
Present.
And myself, RP Kasparian.
Okay, I will now read the pledge or recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Please follow along with me. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I've already read the clause on public comments and suggestions. All right, are there any general public comments this evening?
We did not receive any public comments, but we do have some comments from our audience today.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Wes Ruderman, please go ahead. You can unmute yourself and begin.
Thank you so much. Wes Ruderman. I'm the Special Programs Director with Active San Gabriel Valley and wanted to join this evening to let you know, if you've missed it, that Open Streets is returning to South Pasadena for the first time in 3 years on Sunday, May 1st. We're really excited to be coordinating Mission to Mission again after the successful May 2019 event. I wanted to share a quick update on the state of planning and what's currently in development for the South Pasadena Activity Hub. As you know, this event is really focused on encouraging and showing people firsthand how easy it can be to get around without a vehicle if it's safe to do so on our streets. And we regularly, when we do these events, we place a high priority on increasing public education and outreach about sustainable modes of transportation, including zero emission vehicles. So some of the things that you can expect for this year is there's going to be an electric bike demo zone on Mission Street, which will incorporate the SGV COG's new electric bike share program, which is going to be a long-term bike share program. So think monthly rental subscription style, good quality e-bikes with a Bosch mid-drive motor, and price point will probably be about $65 to $75 a month. So folks will be able to test ride the bikes at the event, as well as sign up for like a pre-interest form. And that program is slated to launch later this year or in the next sometime early summer, late spring, to residents of the San Gabriel Valley. It's an 800 bike program, and it will also include cargo electric bikes, but not as many, only 12 of those. Those will be the ones with the box in front, the box feet style bikes. And these are all electric assist bikes. We also have a private vendor who will be participating in the demo zone, Propel Bikes, which is a shop that specializes just in high quality electric bikes. They have a shop in Long Beach and New York City and are a major retailer online. So that will be a part of the hub. There are a number of environmentally minded groups that'll be having booths. Citizens Climate Lobby, the Foothill chapter is already confirmed, San Gabriel Valley Conservation Corps, the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, League of Women Voters, as well as a number of kind of complete streets groups and other bike shops. There'll be activities for kids. There's going to be a stage with live entertainment throughout the day, as well as some inflatable obstacle courses and slides. And I think 5 of those spread across the route, and a professional chalk artist and a public chalk zone. So those are a few of the activities so far, but wanted to reach out in case the commission wanted to incorporate anything else environmentally minded or conduct public engagement, maybe have a booth somewhere in the hub to raise awareness about ongoing initiatives or upcoming programs and projects. And I think that concludes my public comment, but thank you again for your time and consideration.
Thank you. And I will give another minute for anyone else in the audience who might have a comment. General public comment. This is for any items that are not on the agenda. Okay, I don't see any other public comments.
Okay. It looks like next on the agenda, we have our discussion on our Earth Day events. So I guess, RB, are you leading the discussion on this?
Yes, give me one moment. Let me share my screen. All right. All right, so for Earth Day this year in 2022, the city will be hosting, well, not hosting, but promoting several activities going on in the city during Earth Week. So we're working with the library to see if we might actually have a possible film screening going on either on April 19th or the 21st. On April 20th, we will have an Earth Day proclamation at our city council meeting. On April 21st, we will have a leaf blower demonstration event at Orange Grove Park. On the same day, the library is hosting an Earth Day craft lab in the afternoon. On April 23rd, Saturday, the library has another Earth Day themed family story time. We'll have a compost giveaway that morning. And then in the afternoon, we have a Graywater garden tour and plant swap. The Graywater garden tour will be hosted by South Pasadena Beautiful. And I believe our Commissioner Bortz is very involved as well in the planning process. This is very exciting because this is something that we had planned back in 2020 and we had to cancel it in 2020 and in 2021. So we're really excited that we can finally have this event in 2022. They will start off at the community garden with the plant swap and go from there. So we're very excited to have that, and we will certainly be promoting all of these events going on in the city. In addition to the actual activities that we have, all month long, we'll be promoting some Earth Day themed programs that we have in the city, promoting some of the current city programs that we have, like the water conservation rebates, water waste reporting, our tree guide that we launched last year, recycle and reuse directory, Clean Power Alliance, informing people of what that is and if they would like to opt up to a higher level of green energy. The library will have both adult and children Earth Day themed books on display, and we'll be posting a bunch of blogs and things on social media around Earth Day topics. So these are the major things that we have already planned for Earth Day. I wanted to open it up to the commission. One thing that that we are working on, like I said, was doing a film screening at the library. And I wanted to see if there are any suggestions on what we could have on that day, or if there are any other activities that you wanted to recommend. I see, sorry, I have to move my screen real quick. I see Commissioner Kelly, you have your hand up.
Yes, thank you. RP, if you could go to the, I think it's a slide after this one. I had a question
Yes.
about one of the items. The water waste reporting, can you talk about that a little bit more, how that would work and when it would be implemented and things like that?
Yes, so currently we have a email address, waterconservation@southpasadenaca.gov, where if anybody in the neighborhood witnesses any type of water waste, so if you have any excess runoff, if you see someone watering more than 3 times a week, watering on the wrong days, watering on their sidewalk, broken sprinkler, any type of water waste that is witnessed can be anonymously reported through that email address. So we've had this for a while and we have a lot of people who actually use it, but I don't think that we've promoted it lately. So I think this is a good time to let everybody know that we have this option. So if you see anything out there, email us. What we do is we go out to those sites where that water waste was witnessed. And we post a door hanger. And the door hanger on one side marks off what it is that was the water waste issue that we saw, when it happened. And then on the back, it has a bunch of tips for water conservation and also includes information about our rebates, water conservation rebates. So whenever we have any email that comes through saying this address is watering every day. We'll have our field staff go out, post this notice, and usually that's all it takes for someone to fix the issue. If we do have a few repeated offenses, then we will go ahead and send violation letters and get it fixed that way. But that is what our water waste reporting service is.
Thank you.
Mhm. And Commissioner Law.
The topic of the mandatory organics recycling is one that's come up in the past as, requiring lots of education and outreach. I guess on the previous slide, would that fall under the compost giveaway? Would that be the best sort of moment to make that pitch?
That's a great idea. We can certainly have some flyers and educational material ready, handy, and then we can pass them out to everybody who comes over. So we can let them know, by the way, I hope you've started your food scrap collection, because now we're accepting food scraps. So
Right.
that's a great idea.
That's a terrific point. I guess I'm also, there's also the outreach to the people who are maybe not so engaged on the topic. And that's, of course, we're obliged to do our best on all fronts. I wonder if there's another, well, I don't have any great ideas, but,
Yeah.
think about how to find those people.
Yeah, so we certainly still have a lot of outreach and education coming for the 1383 organic stuff. Whether that education timeline will line up with what we're doing for Earth Day, I'm not sure yet. A lot of it is kind of dependent on the contract negotiations with Athens, since Athens will be helping us a lot with the education. So we can certainly have information ready as far as, doing that push to do the education for that. I'm not sure if line up with the timing.
Right. I guess, well, maybe, yeah. There's the electrification of the leaf blowers, and also this, which are kind of big policy changes that require lots of education. I wonder if it might be helpful, maybe in the proclamation, we could talk about, here are big initiatives, and because the proclamation itself might get a lot of attention, and it's
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I guess it has a broader audience, but also these are two issues that we're obliging many people, to consider in the next year.
Absolutely.
Commissioner Hammond? Oh, are you done, Commissioner Law?
Yes, thanks.
It's just I was thinking maybe we should add some of the programs that Wes was talking about, the Go SGV, about the e-bike rental, to some of the ongoing communications. If there's flyers, or I'm not sure how RP that is, where any of that will be available. Is it just going to be on the website, or is it going to be part of the library?
This is the, I'm sorry, what information are you?
The part of the COG that Wes had just spoke about.
Oh, the
about
bike
the
program.
e-bike long-term rentals, since that
Great.
kind of the less fossil fuel use, something that's available to us in the community.
Yeah, we can promote that. And Commissioner Kelly?
Oh, just quickly. Yeah, I think that Casey raises a good point. I think brief announcements or some sort of flyer on the organic waste, on water conservation, and the change on leaf blowers and the e-bike rental program would be good to just quickly touch on at the beginning of all these events, or have a flyer, that could be distributed at the Gray Garden Tour and Plant Swap, because it's maybe unusual to have so many people attending these events, sort of at different, children, to parents, perhaps to older people. And it's a good opportunity to reach them. And, it could just be real simple, something like where, look for further information about these on the website now or in the future, just a quick one pager, with a couple sentences.
Absolutely.
Do we have flyers currently for either the leaf blowers or the water conservation or the organic stuff?
Yes, we have flyers for rebates. We have flyers for the residential food scrap program. We're working on, we have flyers just to promote the event of the leaf blowers. And we have more information. We have a webpage on the leaf blower ban. We are working on doing some more direct outreach for the leaf blower ban.
Okay. I'm just, I don't know if some of my commissioners remember who were on the commission when we had a table at the garden tour where we had some literature a few years back. Maybe, I mean, at minimum on April 23rd, but maybe for some of these, maybe on April 21st as well. We could staff as volunteers a table again where we have some of this information and members of the community can ask us questions. I would be willing to do one or both if some of my fellow commissioners are willing to as well.
I think that's a wonderful idea, and I would help you all to get your table set up and everything if you do decide to join one of these events. I would recommend doing the Graywater garden tour and plant swap, like maybe have something set up at the community garden. They already have like those tables set up. I'm planning on whoever goes to the compost giveaway in the morning to hand them the flyer for the Graywater tour and direct them there. So hopefully we can get some more people passing through that way. But yeah, absolutely. If the commissioners would like to set up a table, I think that's a wonderful idea.
I think that would be great. Would there be any value to doing one at the library as well? I feel like a lot of the times with the garden tour folks were preaching to the choir.
Right.
If we're able to meet more of the general public at the library, or if maybe we have,
Here's
I don't know.
If we were to do some kind of a film screening at the library, would you like to combine that with like a come ask the commissioner a question and have the table set up at that time, or combine it with one of their other library events? I mean, we have a lot of possibilities, so I'm open to make anything happen.
Yeah. Commissioner Hammond, what do you think? You have your hand up.
I had my hand up for something else, but I mean, as far as that, I think that definitely the garden tour is kind of speaking a little bit to the converted already, or just a very kind of singular mindset as to what their interests are. But I think at all of these, the one thing I was going to add was I think we could have a station. One thing that might be nice, and also to cut down on some of the paper, would be to make QR codes for all of these, since most of them do have information online, and that could be easier for people to access and kind of have a takeaway. As far as reaching a wider audience, I think going back again to Wes's comment earlier, the mission to mission event, if we as a commission were to volunteer for that and have a booth for outreach on all of these subjects that are listed here at Earth Week, I think that's another opportunity to reach a wider, broader audience. Because as you know, I don't know if any of you have attended that event in the past, but because of all the other activities, the inflatables, the maze, the chalk, it's a big general public event too. It's not just for people who want to ride the streets. on a bike or any other way to experience without the cars. It's just a general family event, so I think that's a good opportunity too. But I would definitely go for one of the things at the library, maybe the family story time, or depending on the film screening, but family story time would probably be another good opportunity to have a person staff table.
Thank you. So why don't we definitely plan for an April 23rd table, location TBD. And then when's our next meeting? Is it before? Is that Tuesday?
After, unfortunately.
Oh, it's right after.
Yeah.
Okay.
I-
So
I could coordinate, since I'm still part of the community garden, I can coordinate to have some, be in charge of materials there if nobody from our group is going to be at that event, if we wanted to do 2 locations at once.
given that Rona will likely be there as well, not that I'm volunteering her in her absence, but maybe the 2 of you could be the presence there and we could have a presence at the library too.
Mhm.
But also it is a long day, so we might want to do shifts. I can definitely be at the library though.
I could make time for the library. Sounds great.
Okay. All right. So do we need to vote on this or can we just give a thumbs up?
No, just agreeing amongst yourselves that you'd like to,
Okay.
and just to make sure that we are not violating the Brown Act, we would have to have a maximum of 3 people there. We have 4, then it's technically like a public meeting, so no more than 3 commissioners at any of the.
Okay.
At any location?
You could
I don't think that will be a problem.
Okay. Great.
Probably 2 at the most, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so the family story time, I believe that's in the morning about 10:30. The compost giveaway is going to be from like 8 a.m. to noon. And then the Graywater Garden Tour, I believe, starts at around 2 p.m. Just to give you guys an idea of what that day is going to look like.
So I'm sorry, the story time is at when?
It's about 10:30 a.m.
Okay. And the garden tour starts at 2?
Yes.
That would be a long
So
time.
can you follow up with an email to all of us, and then we'll just respond only to you with, what we would be willing to man? And then would you mind coordinating that as far as not having overlap?
Well, I was just thinking, since the family story time and compost giveaway is more in the morning, we could actually have a table there in the morning and a table in the garden in the afternoon with sign up and then have scheduled times where we're either at one or the other. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Are we biting off more than we can chew, or is that?
I can send the email out to everyone and see how many volunteers we get each slot.
We can also recruit people too outside of the commission. Okay. All right.
All right. Throwing it out there one more time. Any ideas for a film screening? Any documentaries you've seen lately that are really good that you think would be great to share with the public?
Oh,
Or movies, or doesn't have to be a documentary.
I'd have to follow up with you. I can't, you put run. It's
Okay. Sure. If anyone gets any ideas, please shoot me an email.
okay.
All right. Any other questions for Earth Day stuff in South Pasadena? I actually also wanted to give the audience a chance for any public comments on this topic. We did not receive any written public comments, but if anybody would like to make a public comment via Zoom, you can raise your hand now. Okay, I don't see any hands raised.
Okay, well, moving on, our next discussion item is the Green Action Plan Progress Report.
All right,
RP or Ted?
that would be me. I will
Okay.
share my screen now. Okay. Who remembers the Green Action Plan? So it's been quite a while since we've been able to have an update with the commission on the Green Action Plan items. So I did the update. I integrated the update on all of the actions in the plan itself, so that we can also kind of have a refresher of what it is and what we created in 2019. So just to recap, and I know we have some new commissioners and some folks in the audience who might not be familiar with the Green Action Plan. In November of 2019, the City Council adopted the Green Action Plan, which comprised of several initiatives and actions that the NREC wanted to complete in the city. So what we did is we had several meetings where we listed all of the things that we wanted to do sustainability and environmental wise. And if you remember, we had a meeting where we had those items up on the wall and we voted on what we wanted to prioritize and include in our plan. This was during the same time that we were putting together our climate action plan. However, our climate action plan was going to take a while for it to be completed. So we didn't want to wait for that. So we created this mini plan here where we would have our top sustainability initiatives in this plan and we would work towards those. So essentially, I won't go through all of the details. If you would like to, we do have this up on our city website. If you go to South Pasadena ca.gov/environmental programs, you'll be able to find it there. So if you haven't looked through it, I really encourage you all to go through it. But essentially, what came out of those meetings were these 5 overarching goals. The first one was to work towards making South Pasadena a plastic-free city. The second one, to enhance water conservation projects and programs, increase organics diversion from landfill, mitigate impacts of the heat island effect, and prepare for the consideration of future sustainability initiatives. So all in all, we came up with 41 moves or actions to take within this plan. And we had 22 contingent moves. These were moves that we wanted to do, actions we wanted to take if we were able to get the resources to do them. So that's a total of 63 items and actions we wanted to take. So I'm going to go through, you'll see in the plan that we have them written out and described. And then we also have these charts. And they also have the moves listed here on the left, and then some other information in the columns. Score is the deliverables that we expected to get out of these actions. I've changed this a little bit for this meeting to provide the update. The last column is different because I've added an update section. So I'm going to go ahead and go through these moves that we have completed and the ones that are in progress. Anything that is not highlighted, we haven't begun yet. So the first goal was working towards making South Pasadena a plastic-free city. You'll see that we are in progress of developing an environmentally preferable purchasing policy. This is something that is required per SB 1383 as well. So we wanted to do this and then found out it was actually part of a requirement for Senate Bill 1383. So we are working towards completing that, and we hope to get that done by July of this year. We have installed water bottle refill stations. We have them at City Hall, we have them at the Senior Center and the library, and I believe we do have a few more that are currently being installed in some of our departments. And lastly, we did create a recycle and reuse directory that can be found on our website. So with this goal, something to keep in mind, and the reason why it looks very unproductive, is as soon as we launched this in 2019, at the end of 2019, 2020, the pandemic hit. And we had a lot of people who, I remember we were ready to start talking about banning single-use plastics and encouraging, you know, people to go and take their own cups to Starbucks and things like that. So as soon as the pandemic hit, we had people who were afraid of those reusable items. We had plastic bags come back. We had all those things that prevented us from really moving forward and eliminating plastics in the city. I think it's safe to say, I hope it's safe to say, that we have gone over that fear of reusables. And I do believe that this commission would like to go back to adding a lot of these items to our 2022 work plan. So hopefully we can get back to working on making South Pasadena plastic free. All right. So our second goal was enhancing our water conservation projects and programs. A lot of the stuff that we've been doing continuously, including promoting the rebates that are offered by the city, the rebates that are offered by Metropolitan Water District. We did recently, in December, host an MWILO workshop that was for professionals. We had that here at the Garfield Reservoir. Let's see. A lot of promotion that's continuous. We did partner with SGV COG's Energy Wise Partnership Program, which offers our residents water conservation assessments for their homes. And then finally, we were able to work with South Pasadena Beautiful to promote a garden tour focusing on Graywater System. So that is happening April 23rd. So we can cross that off our list. We have several things that are in progress. The creating an integrated water and wastewater resources management plan. It is going to council on April 27th. We are calling that the One Water 2050 plan. So that's something that is huge, that is almost completed, and we can move forward from that as well. We did create some informational materials on Graywater systems. So hopefully we can get that out in the public. We had a project here where we would retrofit all of our water faucets at city facilities. We did go around to and document all the water faucets that we have in all city facilities and the gallons per minute for everything. So we know how much water we're using right now. And the next step is to go through and switch out all the aerators and calculate how much we're saving just by switching aerators. We wanted to evaluate the water conservation program and hopefully offer greater rebates for those items that are purchased in the city. So hopefully we can bring that back in the fiscal year 22-23 water conservation rebates. And we do have turf removal and California friendly landscape workshops that are online. Unfortunately, they still haven't gone back to in person yet, but we are always promoting those, as you know, during our commission meetings. But it would be nice to see if there are any other workshops out there that we might be able to host in person now. All right, increasing organics diversion from landfill. This was a huge one, thanks to Senate Bill 1383. So we are working on connecting restaurants and grocery stores to food donation organizations. We've found that a lot of our large grocery stores are already donating, so that's really encouraging. In the process, we're providing information both on 1383 and AB 1826 to the businesses and the residents. We did host a free composting workshop where residents received discounted composting bins. We have talked to other composting organizations. And of course, with 1383, we will be deploying organics bins at city facilities and providing more education on organics recycling. All right, and goal number 4, mitigating impacts of the urban heat island effect. This commission did recently have a meeting where we reviewed the city's cool roof codes. We created that awesome tree guide last year, the heat tolerant and native tree list. And we did update the tree ordinance. And then lastly, these were a few things that we wanted to keep in mind. With the adoption of the climate action plan, we have in there that we would have some, we did pull from the Renewable Energy Council's recommendations, and we did include that in the climate action plan. So it's kind of working on that one. And then one of the big things is, of course, having the ban on the gas-powered leaf blowers. All right, so that is a quick update on everything that we have accomplished so far. Clearly, we still have a long way to go to really finish everything off in this plan. And I hope that the commission keeps this plan in mind and uses this as an inspiration for your 2022 work plan. Are there any questions or any goals that anyone would like me to go through in detail? Yes, Commissioner Kelly.
Arpi, some time ago, there was discussion of creating a turnkey Graywater System installation program, I believe, with the Upper San Gabriel Valley Water District.
Yes.
Could you update us on what's become of that, and if it's still in process, maybe where it stands and when we might see something?
So we were able to secure some funding from Upper District to have some kind of a Graywater workshop where the attendance of the workshop could then have someone come and do a direct install. Unfortunately, we were not able to implement that in time with all of the other initiatives that we did last year. So we do not have that funding anymore. So we're kind of back to the drawing board of trying to figure out if that's something that maybe we can include in our water conservation program for the next fiscal year, perhaps take some funding away or shifts things around, maybe take a little bit away from the rebates and add that in, or if there's any other way to find some other funding. So unfortunately, we are back to the drawing board on that one.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I had a question about the single-use plastic work. Is there any way to, I know we can't really cite people, but encourage or remind certain businesses that single-use plastic bags are no longer allowed? Seems we still have some in the community that are using them. And didn't know if there was something that we can do as citizens to help inform.
Yeah, so very similar to the water waste reporting. You could, if you do see any location that's using single-use plastic bags, they might still be kind of in that pandemic mode. Even though during the pandemic, it still wasn't allowed, but if you do see that, you can email environmentalprograms@southpasadenaca.gov. And we would be happy to reach out to them and just remind them that we do have this ordinance in place in the city and that they need to not use single-use plastic bags. Any other questions?
I would just like to comment that I think this is a very important issue, and I hope that it gets some traction this year as we look forward towards, or as we start to plan our work plan.
And that the single-use plastic bags there isn't any exemption for restaurants at this time, right? They're also not supposed to be using them.
I don't think that there are. You could double check the ordinance that we have online. I think there might be like one or two like reasons of why you can use it, but I don't think it would apply to very many people or many businesses.
And is that something that the city or the Chamber of Commerce, if we could ask them to say, like, that kind of a friendly reminder that now that we're through the pandemic, I think that could be a good thing, because I know that several restaurants in our town are definitely using them, and the volume, it adds up.
Yeah, certainly. We can, we did have a blog post during the pandemic, just to remind everyone, but I think it's a good time to have another reminder out there. So we can certainly post a blog about it, maybe spread it out to our Chamber of Commerce and have them perhaps put it in their newsletter. But yeah, we can definitely do that.
Okay, are there any other comments on the Green Action Plan progress report?
Okay. And we did not receive any written comments for this item, but I'd like to give our audience a moment. If you'd like to make a comment on this item, you can raise your hand now. And I do see a few hands raised. So give me one moment. Okay, Mr. West Rudiman, please go ahead.
Hi, good evening again. Thank you for the presentation. Really informative to hear what's happened on the plan since it was adopted a couple of years ago. A couple of quick comments, both for commissioners and staff. The County of Los Angeles is expected to consider a comprehensive policy or new ordinance to reduce single-use plastic. I believe it's on April 5th. It's going to go before the county board. It was in the works and was slated to be heard right before the pandemic hit. So it's put on hold for a couple of years, but it's coming back. And that may be something the city and the commission will want to take a look at as an opportunity to reduce single-use plastics, as well as encourage the use of reusables and alternative products there. A lot of the work that's been done is based on a UCLA study that was done in Los Angeles County of the waste stream and recommendations within that plan or within that UCLA study. The one other item I thought that might be interesting is regarding building electrification. There's a lot of movement in the last couple months in Southern California. So Pasadena is expected to consider the issue. The council or staff is coming back with a recommendation to develop a local code update for new construction on April 4th or the 11th. That's going to Pasadena City Council. This evening, the Glendale City Council is considering or has an item to hire a consultant to study options for building electrification. And the County of Los Angeles last week adopted a motion to study options for decarbonizing new buildings as well as existing buildings. That is going to come back to the board within 120 days. And then LA City also adopted a motion on that. And since South Pasadena is now 100% green power default, any new buildings that are built all electric will be essentially 100% GHG free unless someone opts out of the Clean Power Alliance who resides in those new buildings. So that's another opportunity you may want to take a look at, especially as the city is considering significant new development and growth. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Okay, and we also have MG. I think I know who this is. You can go ahead and unmute yourself and make your comment.
Hi, this is MG. I think you know who I am, Harvey. This is Mark. Yes, I just wanted to make the comment that with regards to single-use plastics, I've noticed that at the farmers market, our beloved farmers market, they started to go away from the single-use plastic bags, but lately, starting, I don't know, maybe just like a month or two ago, they're saying, oh no, they're allowed to use them as long as they're recyclable. So I think that's kind of going backwards of what they were actually going towards, and I think what our ultimate goal is.
Thank you.
No problem.
And that's something that the chamber also manages, so that would be a good 1-2.
Okay. I'm going to give another moment for our attendees in the audience. If anyone else would like to raise their hand to make a comment. And I don't know if Mike or Wes still want to make a comment, or if your hands are still raised from your previous comment. Okay. All right. I don't see any other hands for this item.
Okay, well, that wraps that up. Moving on to our commission analysis update. I know that we were sent some information on that. Will you be
Sure, so I can take this item.
leading that, Ted? Yeah.
So this will be a
Okay.
very brief item. So as a refresher, the city manager's office had hosted a special discussion on commissions, and an item was brought before the council to discuss an evaluation of commissions, which is in our municipal code to periodically undergo, to see if there were ways for commissions to be reevaluated or combined, or if there additional commissions are needed. And there was a lot of discussion that evening, specifically for the Public Works Department. They took a look at our 3 commissions, which is this commission, the Public Works Commission, and the Mobility, Transportation, and Infrastructure Commission. And there were no recommendations with regard to the Environmental Commission on any sort of significant changes. The recommendations were more so focused on perhaps combining the Public Works Commission with MTech, the Mobility Commission. The council decided not to go that route just yet. They asked staff to come back with some alternatives on ways to keep those commissions separate, and we'll be returning to council to continue that evaluation. But as it stands, there's no planned or expected changes to NREC. And so if you recall, we had held off on making any sort of chair appointments until we had done that evaluation to see if there would be any changes. South Pasadena's municipal code requires that the selection of officers happens in the first quarter between January and March. And as we're at our March meeting, that's an appropriate thing for us to do now, specifically knowing that there's no changes to be expected. And so that's on the agenda for tonight. Also, in that same respect, the council decided to reappoint several commissioners across the board. And so in this commission, Commissioner Bortz and Commissioner Law have been reappointed at the council. I think it was last week. And we are still waiting to see when vacant seats will be filled on this commission. So we don't have any news on that just yet. So any questions?
Is it just the vacant seat? Sorry, Commissioner Law. Is it just a vacant seat that was left earlier this year that we're missing?
Yeah, that's the only vacant seat that was missing. I understand that Commissioner Kelly seat might be, you might have come to the end of your term, but my understanding is that until your seat's reappointed, you're on the commission. So as far as vacancies go, it was just Commissioner or Vice Chair DeGiorgio's seat that is left to be filled.
And could you remind me again when the deadline is to apply? For anyone who's watching.
That's a great question. Actually, let me look that up. Do you happen to know that off the top of your head, RP?
Furious keyboard typing.
Yeah, exactly.
Mr. Chair, I can answer that.
Oh. Mayor Cacciati. Yes, thank you.
Thanks, Ted. Sorry, I was at a couple events. I just got back from the third tonight. You can apply until we make the appointment. So please turn in your applications, tell your friends. There's several commissions with vacancies. And in my meeting with the city manager tonight, which got out about 6:27 before my other meeting, I told her to send again, another announcement out on our social media and also to some of our diverse communities like the South Pasadena Chinese Club, the Vecinos, and the very different groups in the community. So I'm considering a couple right now for natural resources and may actually, there's one I'm probably going to appoint, but there's still others we want to look at for others. And the second one for natural resources too. Get in there soon.
Terrific. Thank you, Mayor Cacciati. And I just looked and the link is still available on our website under, if you click on the commission's subpage, you can apply right there.
Great. Thank you, Ted. Well, so that leads us into the election of chair and vice chair action items. Oh, no, sorry, I jumped the gun. First, we need to approve the minutes.
Actually, before that, we need to give a second to see if we have
For public comment?
comments.
Oh, apologies. Sorry. I keep forgetting that we have to do that after every item now. Okay.
Okay, so we did not receive any written public comments for this item, and I'll give the audience a few seconds to raise their hand if they do have any comments to make on the commission analysis update. I don't see any hands raised. We may move forward.
Okay, moving on to our action items now. We'll start with the approval of minutes. Has everyone had a chance to look those over? And do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Okay, Commissioner Kelly moved to approve. Commissioner Hammond seconded. Can I get a roll call, please?
Yes, General Commissioner Bortz is absent. Commissioner Hammond,
Yes.
Commissioner Law,
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly,
Yes.
Commissioner Siegel is absent. Chair Jones.
Yes.
All right, motion passes.
Okay. So now we are going to move on to the election of our chair and vice chair. And as I told RP, I think it's wise to rotate these positions on an annual basis. And so I am not going to continue. In my absence, I would like to nominate Commissioner Law for the chair of our commission. And I wanted to know if anybody else would be interested in vice chair, since we no longer have Commissioner DeGiorgi in that position. Commissioner Hammond, are you interested?
If no one else is interested, then I will be. My time commitments lately have been a little stacked with work and ad hoc.
Well, your only commitments would be if Commissioner Law is absent. So he's going to give you 100% attendance rate, right?
I have a pretty good track record so far, yeah. I'm calling in from Santa Cruz at the moment, so that's tells you my commitment.
Well, I didn't want to rule this conversation there. Are there any other nominations?
Or volunteers.
Or volunteers, I should say. Okay.
And we don't,
Well,
do we know if we have any interest from Rona at all? Or I know she's absent. And Mike.
oh, I didn't hear any interest from her. She's continuing on, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And Commissioner Kelly, you may or may not continue on. We're not sure of that at this point in
I
time.
think
I'm unclear.
we're not sure. I think
Okay.
I'm happy to stay until replaced, but probably it wouldn't be appropriate for me to chair or vice chair.
Yeah, that's what I was
Those with longer
thinking.
tenure, I think, would be better suited.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when Arpy said general, she was referring to you. General Kelly, we should call you now for your years of service on this commission. Okay, so, all right, I guess I'd like to make a motion to approve the election of Commissioner Law for the chair position and Commissioner Hammond for the vice chair position for the NREC moving forward.
I'll second that.
Congratulations.
Well, we
still have to vote.
Oh, okay. Nah, it was a little premature.
It's a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I know, but there's only 4 of us here, so it's a pretty much foregone conclusion since I made the nomination and he seconded it. Okay, so can I get a roll call, please?
Absolutely. Commissioner Bortz is absent. Commissioner Hammond.
Yes.
Commissioner Law.
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly.
Yes.
Commissioner Siegel is absent. Chair Jones.
Yes.
All right, congratulations. The motion passes. Continuing on, we have Commissioner Law as the chair now and Commissioner Hammond as our vice chair.
Here's to a very healthy year for Commissioner Law.
For everyone on the commission and the city.
Thank you all.
I think it's going to be a good year. I think we're going to accomplish a lot this year. So I'm looking forward to it.
I look forward to it also. Thank you.
Okay, well, we've wrapped that up. So we can move on to our communications. So let's start with Mayor Cacciatti. Do you have any communications for the commission?
Thanks, Madam Chair. Just again, it was my honor to reappoint Commissioner Bortz and Commissioner Law with the council's approval. So good luck and keep up the great work, Commission. Last week, I visited the Gold Line Extension Construction Authority's project site at Glendora. We have an appointment at the regular board. I sit in the Joint Powers Authority. Glendora is our appointment. And wanted to check out the station under construction, the whole project all the way out to kind of northeast Pomona is going well. It's on time, on budget. The station there is pretty much about halfway done. They had to move over a freight line which starts in Irwindale. They had to move it over all the way for the rest of the line going out, hopefully someday to Claremont and Montclair. But it's looking good. I've always asked for whether it's you or transportation committees to go, but they still haven't given us permission. They've only let the regular board, the JPA, and the TAC, Technical Advisory Committees, go out there to the construction sites, but I'll keep pushing. Sat in the meeting last night for 2.5 hours for the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy. I made motions for a number of projects along the Los Angeles River, Upper LA River and its tributaries, and Burbank, Los Angeles, possible pedestrian bridge, bike trails, etc. And still going to meetings on the South Coast AQMD for you, cleaning up our air and improving studies for advanced locomotives, battery power, etc. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mayor Cacciatti. Okay, let's go to our commissioner communications. Commissioner Kelly, do you have any communications for this evening?
No, just that I think that given the dry winter that we've had, and it may not be over yet, but it looks like it's going to be dry again, that water conservation needs to be taken more seriously. The state isn't meeting the voluntary target. We read, just in the past few days. And I would urge that the city try to step it up on conservation. I know we have some messaging that's going out, but yeah, I think we're going to be in a bad situation come fall. And I'll leave it with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Kelly. Future Chair Law.
Thanks. Maybe just this is probably the best venue for advertising the IPCC sixth assessment report, which is the international body that deals with climate change, science, and policy at the highest level. And so this is a report which came out and had made a pretty good splash in the news. And they have a really nice website, ipcc.ch, which has lots of information on the latest assessment, which includes pretty specific and very serious language about climate change impact that's currently happening. And just wanted to make sure that was something that people that are calling into this commission are aware of and can go to find more information if they're interested. And just to note that our climate action plan and green action plan are definitely aligned with the advice and policies that are happening at that level. So we are leading in a good way. Thank you.
Thank you. And future Vice Chair Hammond.
My only communication is, it's actually kind of a question too for RP and Ted, was a resident had reached out to me. There's been some tree plantings recently of tree removal and replacement, and they weren't reached out to about any of the watering. And so I was wondering, do we have a watering program back in place for trees that are planted on the parkway or the in between? And if not, is there a way to reach out? Because I know, I drove by one of them and they're even smaller than what the tree replacements were in the past that have died pretty quickly because of, as Commissioner Kelly had mentioned, we are in a pretty severe drought. I just wanted to see what the status was of the city tree watering, and if we, what we can give to them, if there's still with South Pass Beautiful as far as the watering bags.
Sure. So we usually leave information with the resident in front of the parkway tree about their responsibilities with regard to watering, because those parkway trees, is per our municipal code, are the responsibility of the the property owner in front of that location. So I can confirm with our parks group that is taking place. We do have more, the city council had allocated more planting than we had in the previous year, this year in our budget, because we have so many vacant parkway sites that we were trying to refill. So we can go ahead and make sure that we're providing that information to the residents. And then, offline, Commissioner Hammond, if you have, some particular addresses you want to throw our way, that we can be sure that we've reached out to those residents and confirm, we could do that as well.
Okay. And then I'm not sure if, I wish Rona was here, that would be great, but Commissioner Jones, I'm not sure if you know at all with the South Pass Beautiful, if they still do have the bag program, if there's a way to link up with the city with them to work in tandem to maybe pass those out to help.
Yeah, I know that they took a pause during the pandemic. I can certainly reach out to them to see if they're willing and ready to get that going again. And we would certainly be happy to help them with any materials that they need for that.
That would be great.
Wonderful. Thank you.
They're really cute trees. I'm excited.
It's always nice to see new trees go in. I guess that leaves it up to me. I don't have any communications, but thank you everyone for making this last year enjoyable as chair. And I look forward to continuing to serve on the commission and helping the city move forward with a lot of our green initiatives. So that's it for me.
Thank you, Commissioner Jones.
Thanks for doing the job.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, General Kelly.
I think
Hey,
that's
I'm very nonviolent.
I know, no. You're the green general. Okay. Okay, so moving on. Sorry, getting a little goofy here tonight. We have staff communications.
So I just had two quick things. One is something that I forgot to mention in our upcoming events, and that is our Senior Citizen Dumpster Day. So it's coming up the week of April 11 to 15. And what that is that our senior citizens, anyone age 62 or older, can have their large and bulky items picked up from their homes for free during that week on their trash day. If they would like to take advantage of this service, they do have to make a reservation, and there's a deadline for that reservation, and that is the Friday before on April 8th. So you can call the Senior Center at 626-403-7360 to make a reservation to have Athens pick up your large and bulky items from your home during the week of April 11 to 15. If you are not a senior citizen and you want to get rid of some of your bulky items on April 16th, which is the Saturday of that week, we also have a drive-through bulky item service from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Arroyo Drive, south of Mission Street, where you can take your own bulky items there, and Athens will help dispose of that. And lastly, I wanted to thank Chair Jones for an awesome year and for your service and your commitment and your dedication to not only this commission, but to our community, and being our champion out there. And I think we've accomplished wonderful things together, and really appreciate you being a part of our commission. So thank you so much for everything.
Thank you. That's very nice.
Ted,
okay.
anything to add?
Yeah, just one item. And again, congratulations. Well, thank you very much, Chair Jones, for the service. You'll continue on with us. And then, also congratulations to Chair Law and Vice Chair Hammond officially now, after you've now voted. So I just have a quick item. During our last meeting, we had gone over some of the stormwater projects expected to take place in the city. The majority of those projects have not yet received funding. Those projects that are along the Arroyo Seco inside South Pasadena. But in the earlier part of our conversation or our discussion, I had mentioned a project in Pasadena and then a project in South Pasadena, which were part of this like pair projects along San Rafael and San Pascual. And those had or have received funding. And we actually had our kickoff meeting with Pasadena last week to start the design process for those twin projects, one in Pasadena, and then one in South Pasadena at the very northwest corner of the city, along San Pasqual, just alongside Los Angeles there. So we'll be giving you updates as those projects progress, and certainly involving the stakeholders as we expected, including some of the organizations that you've heard from and we've reached out to. They'll be involved early on in the process, as early as our job site walkthrough coming up. So I just wanted to give an update on that, and looking forward to continued updates as the city undertakes that project. That's all
Great.
I have.
Thank you, Ted, for the update. That's good news. So moving on to our upcoming events, as we discussed earlier in the meeting, we have several events surrounding Earth Day. We have a leaf blower demonstration taking place on April 21st, and that, I believe, is at the library, correct? No.
That is actually, we just confirmed a few hours ago that it will be at Orange Grove Park.
Oh, okay.
We're
At Orange
hopping
Grove
around
Park.
the parks with our demos, so this one is going to be at Orange Grove.
Okay. And then the Graywater Garden Tour will be on April 23rd, and there will be information on all of these online as well. But that will be starting at the community garden. The compost giveaway will be at the library.
The compost giveaway will actually be at Arroyo Park in the
Okay,
horse parking lot.
I was listening earlier. I just didn't
I actually didn't
remember.
mention that information at
Okay.
all. So
Okay, and then the community garden plant swap on April 23rd will be at the community garden. I'm fairly certain.
that one, yes, community garden.
Yeah, okay. And then the ongoing smart gardening webinars, there are various dates and subject matters all surrounding smart gardening, and those can be found on the LADPW website. And then the Metropolitan Water District has turf removal and California native landscape webinars, and those can be found on the Green Gardens Group website. I believe that's a part of the Metropolitan Water District as well. Okay, well, our next meeting will be on April 26th at 7 p.m. As of right now, it's still slated for Zoom. And without further ado, I'd like to adjourn this meeting. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you all.
Good night.